What's up, everybody? How are you? Happy Monday. August is flying. You already know. Uh, Pretty soon we talking September and all kind of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? That's where we going right here? We talking September. That's that's right here. Like, oh my goodness. I say all that to say this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forrester, and this is Real Talk with Al Williams tonight. She'll be with us along shortly. I just want to run down some of the stuff. The first Monday of the month is Assemblyman Al Taylor. The second Monday of the month is Dr. Marilyn Quarter. The third Monday of the month is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. And this Monday, the Monday coming up, the fourth Monday of the month, we have Marilyn's husband, Dr. Quarter, coming in. With that being said, the show is brought to you by the Daily Arts of Survival magazine, brought to you by Soft Illusions Art Gallery. It's brought to you by Reggie Wells Quality Speakers. Brought to you by Melba Wilson. It's brought to you also by Leon Ellis Chocolate and Harlem Underground. And without further ado, I'd like to bring in Miss Alyson Williams coming to you. She is on the road. I'll let her tell you all about that. Allie,
What's happening, baby?
what the deal? What you up to?
Ooh,
Where, where,
what am I not?
where are you now?
And I'm at an undisclosed location.
Good, good, good. But your tour world is doing good. You having fun?
My dates are doing well. A lot of good things are coming together for what looks like it's going to be a lot of new beginnings coming through for the new year. And like I said, the dates are great. I've been doing things with Najee. I've been doing my own dates as well. Just left Washington D.C. Shout out to the D.C. DMV. We were at Fort DuPont Park with Spur of the Moment and Chris Big Dog Davis, who's a really wonderful producer, and just good. I'm just trying to keep it moving, honey. On that front.
You was on vacation. You was up in the vineyard. You ran into Russell.
That wasn't vacation. That was work. I was.
Oh.
Let me give you the recap. Since last we spoke, I was in Costa Rica.
Yes.
For the wedding of Nicole Ashford, who is now Nicole Henry. That is
yes.
the oldest.
Congratulations,
the oldest
please.
daughter of Nick and Val Ashford and Simpson. Congratulations to Nicole and Lion. It was a wonderful experience. I had never been to Costa Rica, so I was just enamored. It was beautiful. And to be there with someone, so much friends and family, a Sugar Bar crew, it was great. And I came back and immediately went out to Malibu, where I did a date with Najee, with Will Downing. And then I came back and went to the vineyard. That was for Jazzmobile. Jazzmobile is partnering with the Boys and Girls Club on the vineyard to hopefully bring something together that will be like jazz camp. And, where kids will be able to come and learn about jazz music and have that whole experience there on the vineyard. And it happened to be the African American Film Festival that happens there, the 20th year anniversary, as a matter of fact. So to say the least, the vineyard was a poppin'.
That's all that matters, right?
Everybody was up there, and I got a chance to, even though after my date, which I played on the 7th with Mr. Nat Adley Jr. Hey Nat, I had made a point to try to extend a few days because you do want to, if you're on the vineyard, take advantage of that. So I was able to kind of do both. I got a chance to lay on the beach and go to the festival and see some movies. I saw a really great story, Remember Me, which is the Mahalia Jackson story, starring Lettucey. Lettucey laid it down and tore it up. And then I saw Never Would Have Made It, which is the life story of Marvin Sapp and one of our Sugar Bar brothers, Chaz Shepard was the starring in that. It was just a really good, get a chance to to see things. I saw a documentary. I want to say the gentleman is Harold Washington. If I have the name wrong, he was the first black mayor of Chicago.
Mm,
Just all about that, what that was like, and so on and so forth. So I got to see quite a few things, and relax. Where
good.
you
I
taking
was.
my puppy? I want to put on. Come on, put on TV. I got. When I'm in these undisclosed places, I end up with all kinds of little friends. I want you to meet Summer.
Oh my God, Malika would be off. Off. Look at this rascal
You
here.
did the boo boo. She is a rotten piece of fur, maybe
Yeah.
about 8 years old, Maltese Weesey, and all she wants to do is this.
That's it. That's all them dogs want to do. That's
This is
all them
it.
dogs want to do.
This
And
is
I'm such a big dog dude. I got Dobermans, Shepherds. I'm little dogs. I can't do all that cuddling and stuff like that.
See, now I
You know?
like the little dogs, but if I had to have a dog, it would be a Rottie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
yeah,
big dogs. I
absolutely.
love these little ones because they just want to just do it.
Uh-oh. What happened to the kid dog that you had
Oh, she's Tuki. Tuki's in Detroit. I'm
okay, she's
trying
back
not to
home.
let Tuki see me doing this because Tuki might be a little upset that I'm
Yeah, yeah.
here
I
with
think
Summer.
Tuki would be.
I
Yeah.
think Tuki would think I was putting her to the side, but I'm not.
Yeah, I think Tuki would too. Absolutely. So how was it running into Russell?
It was so funny because I was staying at a home called the Villa Rosa. The Villa
Uh-huh.
Rosa home is on the African American tour that they do through. I'll bring you back before we close out this summer. The African American tour path, which runs through the vineyard, where they take you to all these different homes that have that are African American owned and have a great history. This is the home where Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, uh, Harry Belafonte, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. This is where they would go when
Mm,
they stayed on the vineyard. So it's a beautiful home. The owner is Valerie Mosley, and
okay.
she was so gracious, and I just had it was just wonderful. And one day they came back in, her and her partner, and they were talking about having been at a dinner for a business symposium because she's a businesswoman, and she said, "Oh, we were sitting with Russell and blah blah." I said, Russell who?" They said, "Russell Simmons." I said, "He's on the island." Are you serious? So that was about 9, 10 o'clock at night. I started calling Russell, and I finally got a call back. Sometime I must have been asleep, and he's like, "I'll call you in the morning. I'll call you in the morning." And he was in the same area in Oak Bluffs, and he was leaving the next day, as was I. But I said, "Listen, it's an island. We got to put our eyes on one another." He hasn't seen me since my challenges in the beginning of the year, but he called every day. And then when I came back too, they said Russell called every day. He was so concerned, and so I gave him the address, and he gave it to the driver. And within about 15 minutes, he popped up at the house, and we had a moment on the porch. And
Good, good, good.
I gave him the history of the home and introduced him to the host and everybody, and that was just a great moment for us to have. And he said that when we got a moment, we're going to have to sit down and really spend some time. Now, the funny thing was, my flight was at 4, and his was like at 1. When I got to the airport, he was still at the airport because the flights had gotten pushed back, and so we had more time to just sit in the airport
Mm,
and
chop it up. Yeah,
hang out.
it's so yeah. I mean, it's so funny, and a lot of asked you this is because a lot of times, I just saw, Drink Champ, shout out to Nori and Efren for doing what they do, their podcasts and stuff like that. And he has a lot of people, and he had Irv Gotti on. And Irv Gotti was talking about his history, and he's doing something for I guess, the documentary.
Yeah, it's a
And
series. Hmm.
yeah, and he
Bill, you froze on me. What happened? Come back, come back. Should I go out and come back in? think maybe I should.
We're back. I apologize, everybody. There was a little internet interference. You know what it is. Sometimes it's 2Gs, 3Gs, but it seems like we got good stuff. Can you hear me, Allie? Good?
Perfectly.
Good. I apologize, everybody. I see you all chiming in. Hello, hello. This is Real Talk Chronicles. This is Real Talk with Alyson Williams. And I had just asked Alyson about a question in regards to, seeing Russell, and it was a good experience. And then I was just referencing Drink Champs. Shout out to the Drink Champs crew for what they were doing. But I was saying how Irv Gotti, which I don't know either, when I met Nori once, but I applaud all the podcasters like us right now. And I was just saying how he had some feelings about Ashanti. And I go, my question to you is that in the R&B world, because I'm going to say that's rap, even though she was an R&B lady, but she dealt with I guess he did a lot of rap stuff. I'm sure he's probably done R&B stuff too. But is that kind of same? Does the industry? Have you experienced that kind of like tension sometimes behind the scenes, problems? I'm not even talking about their relationship. I'm just talking about the industry. You can give us insight on industry, record labels, personality, studio, relationship stuff. People start hating and disliking people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like in any industry, the bottom line is the business, and sometimes when the business mixes with the personal, it's not often a good mix. It can sometimes be, like oil and water. I fortunately didn't have any residual situations that stem from my years at Def Jam. Were there things that I wish could have been done differently? Absolutely. Do I wish I could have been more knowledgeable about certain things? But I was coming up. I was coming through it. Everybody starts somewhere, and you're young and you don't know. And this is a big industry that's been in place for a long time. So there's certain things I might have done differently, and certain things I wouldn't change for the world. So but in my own experience, I don't have any like, oh, I never want to deal with this one again, or I'll never talk to this one again, yada yada. Not from that particular uh, situation. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to what's going on with Def Jam, or any of the labels or people that I dealt with on the business end. If we parted ways, we parted ways amicably, and still have a mutual respect, and hopefully, for the most part, we have a kindred spirit of love and love and kindness still, that we're
Now let me
family. We're
ask,
still family.
yeah, now let me ask you a question. Shout out to everybody chiming in. Irving, he says his old Def Jam sister. Shout out Dana Collins, Deborah, Miss Pace. What's up, everybody? We see you chiming in. Vanessa, Mark, what's going on? Jay Burnett, my guy. What's up, Kurt Alexander? So, with that being said, I know some artists can be difficult to work with. I've heard some stories. You know how this person can be too much of a diva, or this man can be too much of a diva. And I don't use that in a disrespectful term as a diva. I'm just talking about a diva. He
Well,
wants
I'm
it
just
all.
saying,
Or
if you let's see, can I get you to see? I'm a diva.
yes, you are.
I got my
Yes, you
diva shirt
are.
on.
Yes, you are. I see you. I
And that's
see
the day,
you.
that was the day they say, "Oh yeah, last week did you see Alyson just put her whole boobs up in the front of the camera? That was incredible." Anyway, that was my diva shirt.
But it's
Since you
all
brought
good.
it up.
It's all good. So I was just asking that because I guess what I'm just referencing is that in any business, even law enforcement, martial arts, basketball, there can be conflicts of personalities where people don't get along, and like you said, to work through it. Now, I'm just going to ask you, do you think it's a younger generation, or that's just the way it is in business? People not knowing certain things. I hear a lot about masters and royal, and things and stuff like that, where a lot of artists like yourself can sing a bunch of songs, but it's different, I guess, performing the songs and then actually going in the studio and trying to do the song and put your name to it or do a remake of it. Is that's something kind of harder than people can do, correct?
Well, there's a process that happens. To address the first part of the question, like you said, it's personalities. People have been being people for a long, long time. And if you go back and look at artists, whether they be singers or musicians or actors or whatever in the movie industry, whatever television industry, you'll find stories about people who might have been less than favorable or less than easy to work with, and they might have even had a reputation. Sometimes people start out one way and then end up differently because they learn. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They learn a different
yeah,
way
yeah,
of doing things and what have you. So somebody who might have done something 10 years ago and just, you couldn't believe the way that they handled themselves, only
yeah.
to turn around now and come at it from a whole different perspective. So it's
Hmm.
it, it, it is about personalities and what have you. And it's in terms of the music, we've come so far in terms of artists knowing more, and being more involved with their ownership of their intellectual property, of their music, their masters, and so on and so forth, their publishing, so on and so forth. So if they can learn all that they can, that's what I tell people coming into the industry. You do see the glitz and the glamour and the shiny parts, but you've got to learn the industry. You've got to sit down and put your nose in a book or however it is you consume words and learn about this industry, and it'll benefit you, so that when you come up against people who might not have your best interest uh, at heart, you'll be able to see that coming and hopefully right whatever wrong. When it comes to covering music, sampling music, there's a process that goes along with either one of those, a legal process that can make it right for you as well as the person who previously had the music or whatever the case may be. And if you follow that right road, you're able to hopefully gain the rights to go in and do what it is you want to do with it. Um, but I
Yeah,
always say everything shouldn't be covered, everything shouldn't be used. So I hope that when people come and they want to do a remake or re-envision what it is that they're doing, that they come strong.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, you have an iconic song. I'm so happy that no one, to my knowledge, today has made a remake of your song. Not that they certain songs. No, I really mean that
I
because I
know
mean
it's
it's
you, and
it's a
it
classic.
sounds very.
I mean, but think about, I mean, like when KC did Bobby Womack's song, like that
Hmm.
was people was like, okay, that was a good rendition of it. You know what I'm trying to say? There's not too many
Hmm.
songs
Hmm.
that you hear that's a good rendition of stuff. There are other songs like Marvin Gaye had a song, and then Gil Scott Heron did a remake of it. I think was it What's Going On? I forgot what it is. I don't. It's off the top of my head, but it was different. It was in Gil Scott Heron's form. So I mean, you hear
Right.
Gladys Knight. She did Grapevine, and back then, but that was Motown. So I'm sure Mr. Gordy, he was just passing people. He's do what he want. He might have owned all those songs. So who gonna tell him you can't? I can't give the song to somebody else. But I was just thinking, and I was just listening. What more or less what I took out of listening to a lot of podcasts when you hear industry people talk and they're able to interview other industry people, there's so much behind the scenes. And like you said, I think it alludes to back to not knowing what you should know. Like you said, I mean, a lot of you all, I guess, uh I know you and I talked about managerial stuff one day and stuff. One day you might do that in classes, because I think as an artist, were you groomed to be a certain way? Did they teach you etiquette courses and things of that? I mean, you come from a black family, so I know you was taught right. You know what I'm saying? You knew how
Oh
to
no,
say
we
yes,
didn't. We didn't leave out the house without certain things being in place.
right.
But in terms of I had limited musical training, only because of circumstance. I started out like any other kid getting piano lessons and whatever, but um, then the woman who taught us, who taught me, she was kind of up in age, and her family took her out to Long Island. And she used to be right there on 155th, 145th Street, across from what is that? High Bridge Park? Not High Bridge. What's
Yeah,
that park there?
yeah, I know you talk about
Where the pool is, right?
yeah, that's I think that is High Bridge. I think it is. Yeah, it might be.
No,
Is it?
High
Yeah,
Bridge is up on what do
in
you
the
call it? But
Bronx,
at
right?
any rate,
Yeah.
no, no, no. This is in Harlem. This is right across the street from oh gosh, anyway, between St. Nicholas and what you call Bradhurst. Um, but at any
Right.
rate, she, when her family came and
Colonial,
took her
colonial,
Colonial Park, right? Colonial Pool.
colonial.
Whenever when her family came and took her to Long Island, I had to stop with her. We did find another teacher, but it wasn't a good fit. So there are different things that I was taught and different things I learned through experience. Um, and even you can be involved with certain things and not necessarily it's what you take away from it. Being with Dance Theater of Harlem, being with Marie Brooks Children's Dance Company, being a part of those kinds of entities taught me certain things that I was able to parlay into what I do as a performer. Being a part of certain theater companies and so on and so forth taught me certain things. Look, hanging out with Curtis Blow and going to the Fever taught me certain things.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You have to
yeah,
know what you're going to get out of it and what you'll
yeah,
glean from it. And then you'll take those things and you have a do column and a don't column. And you
yeah,
figure out what that is, and
yeah,
it can all benefit you.
yeah. And I'm sure it's trial and error. It's learning on the fly sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because with this thing, you've been around the world, and how beautiful is that your business has taken you around the world, and you've always
Absolutely.
said, you do something that I know you don't definitely love, and I'm sure most artists love, and I hope the artists that still do it don't feel like it's a job, where you have a gift and you share with the world, and then to see people cry and laugh and clap. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure that's a blessing that you don't take for granted, especially now.
Not at all.
At, yeah, everybody. This is
Yeah.
Real Talk with Alyson Williams. She is doing her thing. I love the pictures. I watch her. Sometimes I don't even bother because I see she doing it and she having fun, and I
Mhm.
and I love it. I'm so glad that you are busy, and you know it's always good to catch you when you're home, but to see you on the road and you still make time for Real Talk, it's such a pleasure, because I know you hold us in regard, make time even for an hour. My man Jay Burnett was saying, he said not too many artists can make a song and make it his or her own, but Luther and Whitney can do it seamlessly. What do you think about that?
I think well
I
that
guess
is
that's
one of
a
the things
question.
that I pride myself on. Now with original material, obviously you put your own mark on it, but to be able to take a song that's already been done and make it your own, that should be to me the pinnacle. That should be what you strive for. So I find that I always get a lot of I get a lot out of trying to achieve that. And there are some artists that really do it well, and then others that are still working on it. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
there's been a couple of people. One I know of was just brought to my attention, and the other person I don't know or remember what they did, but someone tried to make a gospel rendition of "Just Call My Name."
Mm,
Just call his name, which is something that I had always used in my own live performances, because
right.
I always find a way to to give the honor and
Hmm.
praise. But someone did do that. I don't know, but I don't think it ever was released. And then I was just recently told that there's a guy who's in the business. I don't know his name, independent artist, and he had recorded some sort of a, I guess, answer to "Just Call My Name." I don't know, because the person is supposed to put me in touch with them so that I can
Hmm.
hear it. And they thought it would be a good look for us to maybe even collaborate. I don't know, but you never know, But I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
the other thing is that to know that your song is something that someone will want to try to take and do something with is an honor.
right, right.
You know.
Definitely. Let me just read a couple of comments. Tracy, shout out to Tracy. She said, unfortunately, in this industry, you live out loud, and your lifestyle and sense of ethics come under scrutiny by all, and some don't know how to handle it. Vanessa Sterling, she said, a lot of the new artists today are learning the business part of the industry, like owning their own masters and understanding the inner workings of how not to be exploited for their gifts and talents. Kudos to Tiffany Haddish, who recently did this, and her choice of selecting new projects. Great discussion. So let me just go back to Tracy's statement. She says, unfortunately, in the industry, you live out loud, and your lifestyle and sense of ethics um, comes under scrutiny by all, and some don't know how to handle that. And I think that goes back to what you were saying about you can hang out with Curtis Blow one night and maybe go someplace with, Nick and Val, hypothetically.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's something that you want to comment on, because I guess it for some, I guess it can be such a rush. I mean, you've introduced me to a plethora of people in the industry, and I'm always thankful for it. I guess where I met them was more a comfort zone for them, so they were able to leave the star. You understand what I'm trying to say? Uh,
Mhm.
and they could be themselves. I think a lot of times, I mean, maybe you can talk about that for people that you've partied with and hung out with, and just go and break bread with on your own, and kick back and cut off the shoes, and who's cooking. You know what I'm saying? Talk about.
I,
Go
I
ahead,
think
please.
that I think as the comment that our guest was peeking into, um, yes, these
Hmm.
younger artists are learning a lot more about the industry on the from the inside and what have you. But I think also because of the way we have such our standards have been altered, and because I
Right.
hate to say the word lowered, but it's kind of
Hmm.
almost like anything goes. So
Yeah.
everybody's on the edge, everybody's trying to give shock value, everybody wants to push the envelope, and sometimes that's just not necessary, and
Right.
sometimes it doesn't and oftentimes it doesn't shine a good light,
Yes.
a flattering light on who you are as an artist. You might have a lot of money and be raking it in, and you might have all your ducks in a row in terms of your team that takes care of what you're doing and making
Hmm.
sure. But then you're out there acting a pure D fool, but nobody's telling you, listen, reel it in. You know what I'm saying? Or,
Yeah.
just you just you don't have to show up half naked. You don't have to, just you don't have to just be on the edge like that to make a
Yeah.
statement. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to show? What are you willing what are you willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in
Yeah. Let me
entertainment,
ask.
it's like what happens is you can do something today that might come under scrutiny, but in 15 minutes, somebody's going to do something that's going to take the attention because it's very fickle and very, you know, well, so and
Yeah.
so did this. Well,
Yeah.
now we're looking over here, what such and such did. They can be very forgiving. And then again, they can put you up on a pedestal only to knock the pedestal right from under you the minute you have one moment of indiscretion. So it's a slippery slope.
Everybody, that's Alyson Williams. I'm Bill Forster. And this Wednesday coming up, where we were discussing domestic violence with Enina Ocasio. She's a community activist in regards to that. I won't talk about her profession because I have to leave that as kind of disclosed, just due to professional reasons. But we will be talking about that because there has been a lot of a spike in violence with women and men, and you know not deviate. I want to get back on this. I just want to make sure that I mention Wednesday. Please tune in, because you have people out here that just killed a woman that had 6 kids with him, and he stabbed her like multiple times, and people out here catching their women cheating, whatever, and then they kill her and kill herself and the kids. So tune in Wednesday. We will be having a good discussion about that. Remember, the summer hours, we're only doing it for an hour, so please come in so we can get a good conversation with that. I wanted to ask you, okay, so Shonda Pace said, what are your thoughts regarding Khalees and Irv Gotti just said he's not releasing Ashante's masters? Sudbar, he's so petty. Um, I don't know. I'll let Allison go with that because she knows the industry better than me about masters and and things of that kind of thing. If you go to an artist, I don't know if you ever went to a management and asked for your masters. To have you heard stories like that? I mean, I think you kind of alluded to it earlier, but just for that person's question, I just want to make sure that we can give some kind of answer to it if there is.
Well, every deal is individual and unique unto each artist. If certain things were not put in place in the beginning of the agreement, you would hope that down the line, especially if there's been a level of success. Do you know what I'm saying? And people have
Right,
made money,
right.
people have achieved the things they were trying to, go for. Now here we come, and you want to have a talk about, well, I'd like to own my masters or so. So there should be some sort of way that the artist and that other entity should be able to come to terms to make
Yeah,
sure that everyone is treated equally and what have you. And I think the artist should own their masters. Well, obviously, I'd be biased. I'm an
yeah.
artist, but if you wrote something, if I wrote something, Bill, even though
Hmm.
you were the person that was able to get it marketed and you did all of the strategic work that it takes to get it out there in the world, I
Hmm.
don't think you should just own it
No,
flat
no.
out. You didn't
Right,
write it.
right.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? This wasn't your truth. You didn't perform it.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes,
saying? So there should be a way that, um, in perpetuity, if you want to continue to, uh, you know, um, have something that you are able to pull from it monetarily or whatever. Okay, but there should be a way to do it, and they should be able to. You should be able to come to a mutual agreement.
yeah.
You
And
know what I'm
it
saying?
seems like a lot of times it seems like the artist gets paid last. I mean, the little things that I was trying to do in the music industry back then and doing, PR work and stuff like that, you know, checks get cut very differently. And, you know, that's a whole nother conversation one day if you want to have, and just breaking down how artists, get sign a contract and stuff like that. Tracy said, yes, Allison, there is no need to kiss and tell Irv Gotti like Irv did. I want to ask you a question. Shout out to everybody that's on YouTube and Facebook. Please share it. There might be somebody up and coming in the music industry that may want to hear what Allison is dropping down. What's up, Patricia Woodall? Happy birthday to you, sis. Happy birthday to all the birthday people. I know it's Leo season. Sorry, it's not a Taurus season and a Capricorn season, but we still here in this building, right, Allie? This is what Taurians and Capricorns, baby. That's it. Let me ask you a question. Talk to me about a team. The people, like, you develop teams and that come and go. Now, I know you. I'm sure right now you know who's your team, who you could call. Like, I'm being full disclosure right this. I know if you needed a certain security, safe security, you could call me and say, B, because I know I got your best interest. You know what I'm trying to say? We're not even talking about monetarily thing, but we're talking about, like, I know this one guy, he loves me, he's gonna watch my back. And if we were somewhere and my spidey senses went off, I hit you, be like, yo, Alyson, we got to get out of here. Ain't no hold on, we somebody bought us drinks. We still, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Right.
gonna be like, yo, we got to get out of here, get your shit, let's go. So how is it when you start developing teams? Because we always hear about people kind of coddle and kiss the artist's ass a lot. And then you see over the course of the time, that team that started when they first started they're not even friends anymore for some reason. Can
Mhm.
allude to that for me, please?
For me, it's different because I've been doing it a long time. I'm very proud to say that I've been in the industry for over 30, almost 40 years. At 61 years old, I think I know who's going to be good for me, in terms of,
Yes.
of being able to put the people together. Now, I've had many people that have been with me forever. Some people who are not with me all the time, but because of the relationships that we forge, are always available if I should need. You being a person like that. Um,
Right.
but you have your people that are there for you, that you hear people talk about a glam squad, your hair, your makeup, your stylist, so on and so forth. You have your choreographer, if that's something that is a part of what you do. Then
Right.
you have your legal team. That's a whole nother team of people that
Yeah.
watch your back.
Yeah.
That would be your attorneys, your business managers, your accountants, and so on and so forth. Then you have your record label, or if it's independent, you have to have marketing. It could be a label, or it could be people that are hired as independent contractors, marketing, publicity, You know what I'm saying? And now more than ever, social media people that help to keep you relevant and keep you moving. I want to give a shout out to R&R Entertainment. It's a new company, well, new to me, that I'm about to go into business with, because we have new music coming. I think I might have mentioned it last month. New deal to be signed, and some collaborations with some great people. And as I go forward and it all starts coming together, of course, I'll be sharing it with you in real talk. But yeah, the best thing about it is to have a team. You know what I'm saying? To have someone that's got your back, because being an artist is a job all unto itself. And you really want to be able to focus and concentrate. Although I've been doing it a long time and I've done it from both ends, I've been on the quote unquote team part, in helping other artists, as well as watched what a team should do. And then of course I've been the artist myself in need of a team, and with a good solid team. So when you know it from all ends, you realize how important it is, so that you can, like I said, focus on being an artist, and letting those questions and those other situations be fielded to other people. You know how you have to say delegate. It's somebody else's job to handle certain things. Although sometimes you find yourself juggling all the balls and trying to keep them in the air, I won't say that it affects the level of performance that you're able to give, or the quality of what you're able to present as a product, because you're a product and a brand. But it certainly is stressful on you. And you should, it's helpful if an artist can be in a position where they can have the people that they need doing the job they need to do, and people who are not only going to do the job, but like you said, I'm not going to kiss you behind because and tell you I don't agree with something, or if something looks like, this is just not a good decision. This is not a good look. Some people are afraid to do that. There are some people who are afraid to speak up because their job, not that their job is on the line, but if the person who's the artist, who's the brand, is not out there working, then they're not getting a check. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is, if we can just keep putting you out there, then we just keep putting you out there, as opposed to saying, you know what, it might be time for a break. It might be time to reel it in. It might be time to reassess. Some dates might need to be canceled so that everybody can reboot. And some people aren't
And
willing to go down that road because it could affect them. So
because I mean, it is a job, and I think somebody asked me one time about promotions when I got an award for outstanding promoter one time, and when I said a speech, and it'll allude to what I'm about to ask you, or what I'm about to say, is that I made a statement, and Capone was looking at me after I said it. I said, listen, if you deal with a party, if you treat it like a party, you always have fun. If you deal with it like a business, then you'll get paid. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference, because people, the finished picture is Alyson performing. The finished picture is I'm throwing an event and everybody come and have a good time, and I'm making sure before that bills got to get paid and people got to get paid. I was just having a conversation earlier today about trying to book a legendary DJ for one of my events, and we're discussing numbers and things of that magnitude. And I had to explain to him, I said, I'm probably one of a few promoters out here still that I bring the crowd. It's up to you to make them dance, to enhance it, but I'm still the headliner. You know what I'm saying? Where I see the industry change, because I'm sure there are people that have booked events and hope Alyson can bring everybody in. They just sit back and just, the artist is everything. I've also noticed a lot of times when we're just going back into what we were talking about, emotions and business and stuff like that. Like sometimes if you get into an argument with the artist, next thing you know, you're fired. You know what I'm saying? Like I know a legendary artist that had a good friend of mine working security for him for years. He was, I think, signed to the label at one point, as his security person. And then they got into an argument, not to be divulging so much, but something that they shouldn't have got into an argument over. And next thing you know, now he's getting fired. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even speak anymore and the pettiest of shit. And it's
that's
unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. That's
Yeah.
definitely unfortunate.
So So, I mean, and shout out to your team that the teams, their names don't have to be mentioned because they are know who they are, and shout out to them and respect them. Let me read something else. Uh, Vanessa said, Vanessa, shout out to all the Capricorns and Taurians out there. Yeah, we here, Our time is coming. Maurice Jackson said she made my favorite love song in high school. Just call my name. Thank you, Fly. Absolutely, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why she's here, and she's to me, and we laughed, we joked, and we talked about stuff. Tracy said Alyson within the team and non-disclosure agreement signed. She's asking the question within your team, and not your team, or just I guess in teams. Do you hear about, are non-disclosures signed?
I think now more than ever with so much social media and everybody has a camera in their hand and so on and so forth. And it seems like there's a whole industry that's built upon how can I trap somebody? How can I, what's the setup and what can I get for it? So people have to be careful about who they have around them, especially if it's someone that they haven't. I was lucky that a lot of the people that I worked with, and when I came into my own and needed a team, I was able to assemble them from people that I had been working with for years. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether it was hair and
Absolutely.
makeup, clothes, or whatever. So we were doing it together, trying to, they were up and coming designers and an up and coming hairstylist and an up and coming this, that, and the other. And so we were doing it for each other and with each other. And then when I came into my own, or when someone came into their own, then we were able to utilize one another. Do you know what I'm saying? And so that was that there was already a trust already established. But when you come into something, you got people coming around that, and I think the non-disclosure not only protects the artist, but it protects those people too.
Yeah,
Do you know
because
what I'm saying? Because what
absolutely,
what you do in your
because
life,
people
what you do for your
party
living.
different right now. Yeah, social media is a monster because it tells everything. I think when we partied, there wasn't no camera. I mean, if you took a picture, you took a picture because you wanted to. It wasn't like somebody got the video. There was no such. If you saw a video, you saw the video guy, and you'd be like, "Nah, get out of
Right,
here," because I may not want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to take a
right.
picture, you'd be like, "Wait a minute." You may put the drink down or the cigarette because some artists didn't even want to be taking a picture with a cigarette in their hand. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who they were. A lot of
Mhm.
times people, I think in business, and I'm sure Alan can talk to this, but in any business you have, sometimes your team can make it easy for you and it can make it hard for you because a lot of times if you got somebody on your team, and I know this from just being a promoter, if they want to be the promoter, you'd be like, see, there you go. You around here dancing around like Diddy, and your ass supposed to be at the door, hypothetically working. You know what I'm saying? Or you
You
security.
know, one of the things that we learned, is that as an artist, now if you're in a picture and everybody's holding up a glass of champagne and you're toasting, that's one thing. But for the most part, you never really want to be able to be taken photographed with a drink. Why? Because someone can take a picture where you might just have turned around and they took a picture of Bill and Allie and we just happen to have a
Yeah,
drink. Somebody can take that and turn it into Allison was drunk and white girl wasted, and so on
yeah,
and so forth.
yeah,
Blah
yeah,
blah blah
yeah.
blah blah. And just take it all out of context. So for that reason, you just always put your drink to the side, whatever it is you're doing, and take the picture. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely,
that you
absolutely.
don't find yourself at the mercy of someone who's out to do do you dirty
Um,
for the benefit of a dollar.
oh, this is a good question. Shout out to Eddie Vieira. He told me to tell you hi. He's on YouTube. You haven't seen Eddie since we were doing Real Talk in the apartment. So it's
Hey
been a
now.
minute. Yeah. Uh Patricia, the birthday lady she said, what does Alyson think about Jennifer Lopez making the statement of Beyonce copying her music for years?
I think that there is nothing new under the sun, just new and more innovative ways of presenting it. I don't know where she found that coalition that Beyonce was copying her music, but because Jennifer Lopez has been on the scene much longer than Beyonce,
Hmm.
maybe there was some inspiration. Maybe she did copy. I know I've copied. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm not
yeah.
saying I've plagiarized, but I've taken something from a Phyllis Hyman. I've taken something from a Nancy Wilson. I've taken something from a Shaka Khan. I've taken something from these other artists that that I thought I could turn around and kind of meld it into my
And
own, into what I do. But to say someone copied and the da 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 da, if that's how she
you know
feels,
what
that's how she feels. She's entitled to that. I hadn't heard the statement. I wasn't sure, so
right.
I mean, I wasn't aware of it. But if that's how she feels, then I think they say that when someone copies you, it's the highest level of flattery. So
That's what I was going to say too, Allie, because a lot of times I think people like I think when people want to do things and people do things and somebody can take a bit of it and enhance it and do just as good as you are or just do something different and they feel like they need to pay homage. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or humility is a wonderful thing, but like you said, look how humble you were to say I've seen things and added to your act from artists that are your friends and things, and it just enhanced you and kept you working. There isn't anything wrong with that. When people start, oh, that's mine and this is mine and this is that, knock it off. You know what I'm saying? It ain't
somebody
that
did it
serious.
before you. You didn't.
Yeah,
There's
you
very
got to.
little that was created, but there are things that can be sculpted and become your signature. Do you know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
I don't see anything that Beyonce stole from Jennifer that was a signature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
Everybody had
mean,
a leotard. Trust me. And most people had fringe. So
yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, like Vanessa said, she said definitely non-disclosure agreement is necessary today and guards against opportunists. They come in with smiling faces, guards against lawsuits. Absolutely. Tashana said she got her whole sound from our music. Wow. Yep. She's talking in reference to Jennifer Lopez. Jay Burnett said, I think artists should be honest of who inspired them. I think it is. I mean, and Alyson, we could talk about that. I'll shift. And if there's anything you want to talk about before we get out of here, please let me know, or just after this question. You have always been, you've always paid homage to Phyllis Hyman, and I think people have compared you or saying you would like the second coming. If I'm correct in my statement, if I'm wrong, please correct me. But talk about that, how Phyllis Hyman, I guess was kind of, I don't know if she took you under the wing, inspired you. And I remember we talked about how she's been somebody that you looked up to, I should say. Let me use that
well,
word
let
first.
me put it, so you'll see just how the whole picture was. It wasn't so much. I mean, it was the people, her fans, and I guess my fans, when they discovered me, they're the ones that always compared me to and said the second
Mhm.
coming. Whether it was in the vocal styling or the aesthetic of the tall statuesque and the hats and the whole bit,
Yeah.
whatever that was, I didn't necessarily take my styling from her, although
Mhm.
I knew that if I wanted to be, when I got into my own, I wanted to be someone who presented that kind of appeal.
Mhm.
Um, I think well, I know my mindset was from looking at, I would look at my parents' photo albums, and I would see pictures of them when they would go out with their friends. You know what I'm saying? And you can attest to this too, Bill, because your mother and father, they would go out and they had friends and they went to
Yeah.
social events. But there was a certain way that they dressed in back in the day. And the women were
Mhm.
always, shoes, little gloves, nice hat. Men had the overcoat and the jacket. You know what I'm saying? They just looked a certain way. They were dapper,
Absolutely.
and what have
Absolutely.
you. So when I
Absolutely.
knew that what the look I wanted was to have, a finished, classy look. The struggle was
Mhm.
how to put that out there and still appeal to a younger demographic. I was on Def Jam. You have to understand, Russell was clear. He knew I couldn't wear big door knocker earrings because I wasn't Mary. I wasn't that.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
already a full nightclub singing girl when he signed me.
Yeah.
So he couldn't, but
Right.
he didn't want to put me out there in a gown because that would have, pigeonholed me in another place. So
Mhm.
I found a way to, have that whole finished look. And then I wanted to put the Afrocentric thing to it, which is why I wore the crowns and,
Yeah.
and things, and patterns and textures and things like that within my thing. And it inspired Queen Latifah. It inspired a lot of other people, but
Yes.
they always took it back to Phyllis because she might have been the first one that we
Mhm.
saw giving that off, and that was how she rolled. As a mentor and as a friend, like I said, I met her as a fan like everybody else, but we were able to forge a relationship. And I always will remember about Phyllis is that she was always totally honest. She owned her truths, and she owned the good and the bad of it. And what she did is she not only told me, well, this is what you should try to do, and this is what you should try to do, and this is what you should look to, but she would also say, and you should not try this, and you should not do that, and you should try to avoid this, so that I would not have to fall into some of the, let's say, pitfalls that she experienced. So she was of that nature.
Right,
I
right.
always appreciated her honesty and that truthfulness in her, and that her heart was so sweet and so genuine. And that's what I, how I appreciated her sister friendship.
Awesome.
Our
Alyson, let me ask you a question too.
hmm
You being a tall woman, different than sometimes some women out here, some artists who are small, you added to your height, like you said, with your crowns, your hats, your ensemble.
and heels, right?
Yes. So that easily took you almost up to like 6 feet, almost. You know what I'm saying? Where like when you came on the stage, you saw Alyson. You know what I'm saying? Or you like your album covers, and it was good, and you did have an Afrocentric flair to it. I never thought about that until now, and that you mentioned it. I just thought it's what you wanted to wear. You know what I'm saying? Because artists back in the days, a lot of men wore suits. It was easy to put a suit on a man and dress him up. Go ahead.
I just knew that I wanted to have that same feel that I got when I looked at my parents when they would be at the nightclub or at the Savoy, wherever those pictures were from, and they always
Yes,
just
yes,
looked good.
yes.
Everybody didn't have a whole bunch of money. Everybody wasn't rolling in the dough, but everybody looked fine. And when I say fine, I mean fine
Yeah.
in terms of quality. You know what I'm saying? And that's what
Yeah.
I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. And I knew that Russell and them were going to have a odd time because, I wasn't a hip hop artist. I wasn't a rapper, and I was their only girl. So how do we, how do we make her, put her out there and make her stand out against everything else that's out there? And we found that. I think the Alyson Williams look of her day when she came out in 89, whatever, 88, 89, 90. I think I think it could stand on its own. And other women and other young girls at that time, they wanted to look like and they appreciated it, and they were with it. They were down with it.
And I want to say that too. I mean, it's great. I guess I'm asking, he let you have your own creativity with that. Am I correct in saying that?
We collaborated on it, and we came to a middle ground.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can remember him going, no, but she's got to be bigger, and it's got to be this, and it's got to look like that, and it's got, and he was trying to implement his vision, and we were able to come to that vision and still let me have mine, because we were all figuring it out together. All I know is that the whole time I was doing what I was doing, when my mother was alive, she was dressing me and telling me things like, now that's a smart ensemble. And I nearly would die every time, because all I wanted was a pair of Lee dungarees and some Fred Braun shoes. Can I please?
Yeah,
You just want
yeah.
what the block had. You want what the crew had. Not really. She sat you down in Lord and Taylor talking about, now that's a smart ensemble. And I'm glad. I'm glad for that. But also
Shout out to
because she did
Moms.
so
May she
much.
rest in
Yeah,
peace.
because she did so
Absolutely.
much
Let
of
me
the
ask you a
choosing
question.
and stuff like that. I found myself at a deficit, because when it came to, like, I'm not a fashionista like that chick who knows how to just put it on, but I'm getting better at it, and I have people that know how to put it on me. I know what not to put on. I can tell you that. And always being a big frame girl, you know what I'm saying? I knew that I had to, dress in a way that was going to be flattering. I didn't want to worry about whether this was the style. Yes, let's get the style, but let's not look crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's out there and it comes in my size doesn't mean I'm supposed to wear it. So, like I said, I'm trying to represent and keep it moving.
No, I think you're doing an excellent job. Let me ask you this too. In today's artists, and I'm referencing you also because you're still performing. I'm sure the group that you perform with are similar in our age. So I say that to say that you can wear a nice outfit, but you also could put on a blazer and some nice jeans and some heels. With that
Right.
being said, right, it seems like the female artists still dress up. I personally don't like the female artists divulging a lot. I don't think you have to sell your body before you sell your lyric. Because if I look at your art, your outfit, and concentrate and talk about your outfit, and you're already 16 bars in your song, then it's not the artist that I'm so much paying attention to. I'm paying to your outfit. Because
Or let's be clear, what you're really saying is the lack of your outfit.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that's my tea. I'm not disrespecting the new artists. I'm just saying that's what I prefer. I say all that to say though, but it seems like the young female artists still can put on some heels and make it happen. It seems like the men artists are all about the sneakers. Like it seemed like what they're wearing on the stage to perform is what they had on when they got up at 10 o'clock in the morning to go to maybe the meeting
It's
or
nothing
something
that
like
makes you feel like something's different. It's all very pedestrian. This is what I feel.
Yes.
I feel that, I came up, watching and going to award shows. When I go into award shows, but watching award shows and going to events where people put their clothes on. I'm not saying everybody has to have a sequin jacket. I'm just saying we like it to look a little less pedestrian, as you say, on the male side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
right.
and not so, just hard and just I don't think everybody has to wear a suit, but just could we have had a little thought put behind it. Then with the women, my thing is this. I think that whatever you choose to wear should, like I said, be flattering for whatever size, shape, and form that you fit into. But I don't, and we all know for years and years, sex sells. I get it, but there's a thing that there's a difference between sexy and slutty, and sometimes we cross the line. And like you said, if you're showing so much skin that I can't concentrate on what's coming out your mouth. Hey, my mouth's up here. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to. But the thing is, it's across the board. Everything, what we see on TV, what we see in commercials, what we see in the shows that we watch, whether it's network TV series or reality TV, it's all a whole nother thing. Now, I'm not saying I want to go back to the days in the 50s when one group of people held all the censorship, but I get it when it was like, for whatever reason, Lucy and Ricky couldn't sleep in the same bed. Some kind of way they came up with Little Ricky, but there was a moral. Jeannie couldn't show her navel. It was all these different things, and they tried to. And I understand that might have been stringent, but now it's like it's too loose to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What we're given and what we experience, and especially when you look at the award shows, and I'll use BET as an example. There's a lot of things that's put on stage, and I'm like, was that a performance? Was that what entertainment value did that have?
Yeah, and
why
funny.
wasn't it questioned? And I believe in freedom of speech and all the things that you want to do, but when it comes to us, Black people, and what is our highest level of being honored, do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't we want to put the best? And I guess I question what everybody's everyone's different level or idea of what best is. I know it's going to be different. What I think is high excellence is going to be different from somebody else. But I'm just saying, what I see sometimes, like I said, it's so loose. It's just so loose.
And
even funny. In small, we would never, when we came up, we would never see somebody. This is a panty that's supposed to be for people with incontinence. Now people have incontinence. It's a human thing. But we wasn't gonna see a person on TV in the panties, or whatever. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because that's a product. That's a product, and I get that you're showing the product. I'm just saying where we've come from these days, where what we see and what we're able to consume on anywhere on the screen is a lot different. Do you know what I'm saying? What it was. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's going to come with a price.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you change the format and push it to that extent. I see a lot of times, advertisers, they like to allude to cussing to get the attention of the what do you call it? I put that on everything. Okay, so you know you get ready to say I put that shit
Yeah.
on everything, but that's how they do. That's how they getting it now. I put that
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
everything, or you know,
Yeah.
shut
Yeah.
the front
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
You know, all those kind of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the there's always a little allusion to a cuss word or whatever. And I'm like, why are we cussing to sell ketchup?
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah. 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 You listen.
I was gonna buy it. I
You're
was
gonna
gonna
buy it
buy it
anyway.
even if you didn't put a cuss in it. But I
Yeah.
see a
Yeah.
lot of that, and I'm just like, wow, okay, I see what y'all thought was clever. To
Yeah.
me, I'm just saying.
And then my man Steve Meekin said, he said Alyson is a bad mama jamma.
Shut your mouth.
Exactly. Exactly. What's up, Curtis? Ollie in the building. He said classy versus trashy. Jay Burnett said nothing is left to the imagination anymore. Absolutely. Just one more question on the industry, and then, like I said, we can chop it up anything you want to before we get out of here. If there's anything else you want to talk about, like always, I've always said this. I've always talked about the time when Russell was in front of the Apollo and he was arguing with people, us, and he was telling about how he thought your stage show was better than Patty's, right? And you have an excellent stage show. I tell people all the time, you know, not that I'm your promoter or your manager, but listen, if you haven't never seen Alyson perform, please take your wife, take your girlfriend, take your significant other, whomever you're dating, whatever. If you want a nice show just to see an artist perform and cover a medley of songs. A lot of artists just walk on the stage and bring nothing just to stand there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe do a little high leg kick or something to bow it or duck and dodge. Like what was a part of your stage show? How much work did you put in your stage show? Who you got
It
there hiding?
changes constantly. It changes
Exactly.
constantly. But when I had the chance to, when I was doing a more formatted show, like when I had my three guys background, we were specifically talking musically into the Raw album or the Alyson Williams self-titled album. When
Yep.
we had all that going, obviously there was choreography came into play, and because I had an
Mhm.
extensive dance background, that came easily. But I'm always seeking to try to do something fresh and innovative, and keep it so it doesn't go stale. Just so your listeners and what have you know, I will be in Syracuse, New York on September 3rd for the Jams Funk Fest. I'll be there with Midnight Star with a live
Mhm.
band. On September 17th, I'll be in Atlantic City for the Atlantic City Jazz Festival with Najee.
We'll see
It's
you
a whole
there.
bunch of
Yep.
good people on that. Yeah, so those two, yeah, I can tell you are coming up, and I hope folks will put them in their calendar and come on out, and uh, and I hope I do
Yeah.
something that.
Listen, if and anytime she has something up, and if I know in advance that she's going to perform someplace, I'll definitely just post it on my wall, or she'll tag me. She'll post it on her wall and tag me in it, so you can catch her. I implore you all. And then you might, if you don't know me, you might as well get to meet me too, because I'll be there jamming with her and stuff like that, hanging out. I say all that to say, everybody, that's Alyson Williams. This is Bill Foster's Real Talk with Alyson Williams. Alyson, before we get out of here, is there anything you want to talk about in a few minutes, or you just want to converse about anything, or you just want to say some positive affirmation and we're out of here? Because I see the sun setting up behind you.
And you know what? The mosquitoes have decided to come out to dinner, and I'm the main course.
I know how that feels. I know how that feels.
And I'm also about to have some good girl time, girl chat, and good times. Oh, I have my she's my host, but she's my good girlfriend. Now she's my camera person because she's put light on me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Dr. Felicia
Absolutely.
Pullon, you're going to have her on your show. She's an incredible activist for the community with an incredible organization called The Pillars. And I'll tell you more about it. And you're going to have her on. She's Wednesday night, though, because she's serious. She's all this da 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 da. Now she's real. She's real, and she brings it. And also another dear friend, Miss Cindy Mizell, who's an incredible vocalist. She has a plethora of credits to her to her to her craft. And we just gonna sit here and have a good time. So I'm letting you go, Bill. It's time. Love and light, peace and blessings,
No,
miracles
listen,
and
that's
music,
it, yo.
and
That's a
above
beautiful
all,
thing,
joy.
everybody. Absolutely, everybody. That's Alyson Williams. I'm Bill Forster. We are out of here. I appreciate you. Colin said, "Love you, Alley Cat." Definitely,
Hey, Colin.
everybody. Shout out to everybody. Please share it, subscribe to it, watch it. See you Wednesday. We're gonna come in hot and heavy and stuff like that. We're gonna talk some real stuff. You know how we bring it. Malika wants to see that dog. She coming right here. Hold on. She came right upstairs to this dog. Oh my God.
We put the dog. We gotta have the dog. Summer's coming back for the closing. Hold on.
Yeah, for the
damn
the
shame.
finale.
The dog's got fan base. I'm gonna get me a dog and see if my numbers go up. Come on, you get me on TV, boo boo. If I get hi Malik, hi Miki.
Hey, beautiful.
Okay, Malika, please meet. This is Doc's baby.
Oh,
this is sweet. That's Samba. Look
oh
at that.
my goodness, she's adorable.
I'm going to
Smile, Bill. You're so cute.
Listen.
Look, Bill, your
Look at the little bows in her hair.
I'm done. Malika, close it out.
So
Bill's whole situation changed. He's like, now I got to deal with this conversation again.
I love it.
The dog came in. The dog came in the beginning of the show and hung out with us. So
say night night.
Night. We'll see y'all later.
Night.
Love you, Allie. Look at this dog.
Come over here, y'all. Come over. Hold on, Bill.
Look.
We're gonna have to
Let this dog meet my. You want to
Hey, Bill.
Okay. All right, everybody. We out of here. How are you, sis? How are you?
With Bill.
No. Don't mess with
Leave him alone. Exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's all that got me through school.
Don't mess with Bill.
Yeah.
Hey. That's Malika's
Good night, ladies.
Bye, y'all.
Have a cocktail for me too.
Do you think we won't?
Absolutely. There you go.
See you later.
Good night, everybody. That's Real Talk. That's Alyson Williams. I'm Bill Forster. That's Malika. We are out of here. See you Wednesday, everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna take this.